Good evening. 3,832 days left till we're 40. I think I might have mixed that up this morning with like 23 or 22. Anyway, I'm back. I'm back home from Denver. It's been an awesome trip. Um, Mixed feelings, but generally very bullish on Bitcoin. Um, and I'm grateful that my wife understands my commitment to this, that I can come home and it's 11 and we haven't seen each other for a while, but I can continue with my daily posting and my daily commentary. On another note, if you are one of our investors, T5s have been done. Did that all on the flight. Actually, that was a really fun experience. Just I got the Wi-Fi on the flight. It was like a United flight from Denver to Vancouver, 2 hours and a half. Got it all set up, connected, filled out all the T5 forms, submitted, and it's like it's a very menial task of just punching in numbers and putting it all together. And there are tools to make it more efficient, but like for 65 kind of forms or documents, it's just not worth it. So you just plug in, and I really enjoy, like, when you're traveling, you're just kind of stuck, right? There's no other distraction. So, and then having that connection was surprisingly good. I thought it would be a little slower, but that was, I think, my first time using like in-flight Wi-Fi, like actively, and like in a sense that I really needed it. Because I'd used it once before, but then I didn't really like it, and it wasn't really that useful. So, or important that it really worked well, right? I just kind of turned it off and whatever. But this time it was important that it worked well, and it did work well, and I did enjoy that. And also caught up on, I guess, the latest, well, the whole world, I guess, talking about the Zelensky and Trump thing. Now, that was very interesting to watch and see, and I know everyone has many thoughts on it. My perspective on it, though, it's like I don't know which, like, I really don't have a comment on which side's right or wrong. I don't think really is an opportunity for right or wrong here at all. But just the experience of it for me, because like it's clear that Ukraine's on a weaker footing, right? Obviously, and between the U.S. and Russia, and could have. Okay, I'm not going to comment on the actual video, but just my feelings of, like, when you're going up against like insurmountable odds or massive things, like there's something in me that really feels for that, like as an entrepreneur, and it's like, rejecting a deal that you don't like even if that seems like the most rational deal to everybody else, there's something within you of what you can achieve, that you don't take that deal because you can figure out another way. Now with Zelensky, I think his connection to the people of Ukraine and his ability to understand them is the key. Like if he doesn't have their mandate, like if he doesn't have their love for what he's doing and support for what he's doing, he won't be able to keep it up for long. And like it's true from a business standpoint, from a startup standpoint. Like if your customers don't love what you're doing, you're not gonna be able to like pull off whatever move you might want to pull off. And that's what product market fit is. It's just like finding that mandate, finding that love for your product and what you do, in terms of what customers demand, are willing to support you and pay you regardless of what the world might tell or think or feel about it, right? It's like if you have just 10 solid supporters, thousands mean nothing. Which takes me to another more controversial. Hitler's speech had been going viral last week, translated in all the languages with it by AI and stuff. And it's fascinating because it's a very censored like speech, right? Like we don't really get that in school or anything. And there's something powerful about like just speech, tongue, word, things you say, the reality that you can create, recreate, dispel, or reimagine. It's fascinating that he was able to do what he did, and you can see why, honestly, watching that. Doesn't mean that what the impacts of what he did were not evil. Like the impact on the Jewish people was absolutely disgusting. But the he just worked at that and wrote about it and talked about it for years. And that's what it is. Just show up every day, which now going to Bitcoin, I don't know why I'm connecting all these topics, but I'm like going to Bitcoin. It's like people who have held on to Bitcoin, or I mean, you could even say meme coins, but like Bitcoin, there's something different about how they speak about it. They've seen the ups and downs, the highs and lows. And when they talk about Bitcoin, you just can't help but admire it. Now, I might be biased from my experience of it as well, but that's how I see myself too. Um, and talking about big successes and big failures, like people who've gone through it know that um, it's like not everybody sticks with you through thick and thin, right? And you know that, and you can use that, and you don't get disappointed by it. In fact, I read somewhere, I can't recall right now, but that people who love entrepreneurs, right, outwardly, haven't necessarily gone through it themselves, are also the first ones to hate the entrepreneurs when they don't do well. It's like their idol is basically not performing and not what they expected or imagined it to be. And in some ways, it's like Elon Musk fans at some point that no longer are his fans, for example. So just observing the human nature or humanity in all of this, it's normal and it can be used and it can be embraced. And it's like it's easy to get down on like, oh, I have haters, but I think a lot of people who have made it through all of that will look back and go like, shit, yeah, I have haters. In fact, there's something like another study or something. I should start referencing things, but that you should strive to have 10% of people actually hate your guts. It means you're actually doing something. It means that you're actually, you have a commitment or conviction that you're willing to upset people about or for. I've had people tell me as well about that. It's like, oh, you always worry about looking good and not looking bad. Sorry, not mainly about not looking bad. And I'm starting to see that differently. I'm starting to see that in the sense that what, there's not there's nothing wrong with having haters. You don't want to hurt people or do them an injustice, but I think it's unavoidable to have haters. And in some way, I'm waiting for someone to have a hate comment on one of these videos. Hopefully, not too soon or too often. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, I also say anyway a lot, so I will put a notice of that. Ramadan's here. I'm excited to take this month to really take what I've been doing over the past month and make that do that more with more more in more areas of my life, in terms of physical, mental, spiritual, and work as well. I'm just really excited for what is going to be possible with Bitcoin technology and the solutions that we are going to be creating. And it requires really a conviction, a commitment, and I'm truly embracing that it requires all parts and aspects of me to be aligned and showing up every single day. And the right word is discipline. It is discipline, but I think the experience of discipline is shifting for me. It's becoming something I look forward to, actually. So I'm excited for the transformation for in all the spaces and areas of life that I participate in, and among my friends and people as well. Thank you for listening.